Good evening and welcome to the Pink Goes Red Heart Health webinar. It's presented to you tonight by the ladies of Omega Rho Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Today, we want to provide you with just a few tips on how to have a happy, healthy heart. We want you to start by knowing your family's history and reporting those findings to your physician. Also, eating foods that your heart will love, caring for your heart by taking care of your mind, and help others by knowing the life-saving technique of CPR. Now, some of our special guests tonight were able to receive a CPR kit. And we ask that once you've learned this life-saving technique and gained the knowledge to pass that kit on to family and friends. Let's just keep it going. So if you did not receive a kit, just practice along today with our virtual resident CPR trainer. So let's get started. We're first going to have our welcome by our president and vice president of the Omega Rho Omega chapter.
Hello, welcome on behalf of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Omega Rho Omega chapter. I am Cecilia Huff, president of Omega Rho Omega chapter. Our service areas include Eastern Henrico, New Kent, and Charles City counties. Virginia, we are so excited you are joining us for Pink Goes Red, a health heart seminar this evening. We have great speakers. We have great training for you today. So please enjoy, relax, have fun. We also invite you to look out for more activities and events that will be coming forward as well from the chapter. Also, please follow American Heart Association's website for great information. So again, relax, enjoy, and have fun. Next, we have our Vice President of Omega Rho Omega chapter, Cherry Basfield Tyler.
Good evening. I'd like to extend warm greetings to all of our guests, speakers, and participants. Thank you for registering, joining us, and participating in today's programs. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated International Program theme is exemplifying excellence through sustainable service, which is more than a theme, it's our call to action. So under this theme, there are 5 targets, of which today's program falls under Target 2. Women's health care and wellness, with a focus on heart health and nutrition. So enjoy the program, and I turn it over to our moderator, T. Marie Hopkins.
Latrice Love is a native of Mobile, Alabama, and a current resident of Columbus, Georgia. She graduated from Auburn University, where she earned a bachelor's of science degree in nutrition with a concentration in wellness. Latrice is employed with the West Central Health District as a health educator supervisor for Georgia's WIC Women, Infant, and Children's Program. Most recently, she completed her dietetic internship with Be Well Solutions and is a registered dietitian eligible. Latrice serves her community and empowers others to live healthier lives through her small business, Prep with Love, which provides nutritious meals and nutrition counseling services. I give you Latrice Love.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be here to share information with you on eating heart healthy. As we all know, February is American Heart Month, which brings awareness to heart disease. And if you didn't know, sadly, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. And I actually read earlier, it affects 500,000 African American women. Heart disease refers to several types of heart conditions, and the most common type is coronary artery disease, which can cause a heart attack. There are several risk factors that can contribute to a heart attack: high blood pressure, unhealthy cholesterol levels, diabetes, unhealthy weight, lack of physical activity, and my purpose here tonight to talk about diet and nutrition. So making those lifestyle changes can help control those risk factors. So this evening, we're gonna focus on two nutrients, but I also want to point out that February is also Love Yourself Month. So by loving yourself through the foods that you eat, you can cut back on those chances of developing heart disease. So making nutrition a priority. So we're gonna jump right on in and talk about two nutrients, sodium and fat. So when you think sodium, the first thing that comes to your mind is typically salt. Everybody has some salt in their pantry. But did you know sodium is a mineral? It's an essential nutrient that our bodies need. You actually need it. Myth, people say, oh, you don't need any salt. But sodium, the mineral, helps regulate blood pressure, as well as your nerve and muscle functions, of course, in the right amount. So what is the right amount, you ask? So according to the dietary guidelines, you need no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day. And I'm pretty sure you just think to yourself, well, how much is 2,300 milligrams? That's equivalent to 1 teaspoon of salt. That's all you need. And realistically, when you're seasoning your food, so let's pretend we're gonna pour out a teaspoon of salt. You're not gonna put this much salt on your food. So if you're pouring it out, it takes a while to get that much sodium in your diet. So there's a sneaky sodium. That's the sodium that comes from your processed foods. That's where most of your sodium comes from. But I want to take a step back. So I'm not saying don't use your salt. And there's a myth, and if you refer to the Heart Association website, heart.org, you see there have a flyer that says there's myth, no salt, no taste. That's not true. Because you want to try to season your foods with different herbs and spices. So I grabbed some of my favorite out of my pantry: parsley, lemon pepper, and of course, if you're making your favorite Italian dish, try your Italian herbs. So it's a mixture of different herbs, and herbs have great benefits for the diet. Turmeric, a great one to try. So try adding different things to your foods. So typically when I go grocery shopping, I'm a cooker. I'll go to the seasoning aisle, and typically, like, if you look at my cabinet, it's full. At one point, I was buying a new seasoning every week. So get creative. Try new things when you're seasoning your food. So don't just stick with the boring old salt. So we talked about salt, so cut back on that. But it's the sneaky salt. That's the one that's gonna get you. It's packed in your processed foods and your packaged foods. So it's important to pay attention to those serving sizes. So one that I picked up today, breakfast time. A lot of times we're on the go. We don't know what we're gonna eat. And I know we've all seen them in the grocery store. So this is the breakfast bowl. It has potatoes, eggs, sausage, cheddar cheese, bacon. Sounds great. They even have one like egg whites and broccoli for the people who don't eat meat. But guess how much salt's in this? 1,100 milligrams. That's a lot of salt because it's packed and processed because they want to preserve the flavor. And we just learned that your entire day, all you need is a teaspoon. So you're getting half of your entire day in sodium in your packaged meals. So I would definitely recommend, if you have time, meal prep. So you can make this ahead of time yourself. You don't have to add all the added salt, and you know what's in it. It's just like when you go out to eat fast food or anything that's not prepared at home. You don't know how much salt's in there. So it's definitely prepare your meals at home, and that cuts back on salt. Another thing are chips. So typically, this bag is bigger than a little bit bigger than a personal size, but who wouldn't eat this in one serving? Come on, realistically, most people, you're gonna eat this entire bag of chips. Well, the serving size says in one serving, which is 14 chips, you get 370 milligrams, which is great. That's like 1/4 teaspoons, because 1/4 is only 57 milligrams. So perfect. You're not getting a whole lot of salt if you want this for your snack. But guess what? If you eat this entire bag in one sitting, so there's 10 servings. So you eat 10 servings to eat the whole bag. That's a lot of salt. That's almost your entire day's salt that you need in one bag of chips. So the next time you go for your chips, I'm not telling you not to eat your chips. Try not to eat the whole bag because you're eating your whole day's worth of salt, which can have chances of increasing your blood pressure if you do have blood pressure problems. But there's healthier choices. So of course, I got my favorite, sweet potato chips. I love these. So a serving of sweet potato chips only has 70 milligrams. So if I eat the whole bag, which is seven servings, that's only 490 milligrams, which is still less than a half of a teaspoon. So eat as much as this as you want. But of course, I don't want you to do that. Eat in moderation. So the key here, takeaway, look at the serving size. See how much you're supposed to eat and see how much sodium is in one serving. So by reducing your sodium intake and changing the foods that you eat, you'll help lowering your blood pressure, which decreases your risk of heart disease. So we talked about salt. That's one of the main nutrients that affects your body for heart disease. But guess what? There's fat. So I know you're thinking, fat, like the fat on my body, I'm trying to lose weight, fat. No. So all fat is not created equal. There's different types of fat, and we love it. Whether you're eating the eggs and bacon that I talked about earlier, or if you're making your avocado toast with a slice of tomatoes, it's all fat, but it's not created equal. So there's 4 types of dietary fats that you get from the foods you eat. You have your saturated fats and you have your unsaturated fats. So think of this blob kind of like your saturated fats. Those are your fats that come from your animal sources. Those are the ones, if you consume too much, that can make bad cholesterol, clog your arteries, and potentially cause heart disease. So you want to focus more on those good fats, those unsaturated fats. And I won't get all technical and say monounsaturated, polyunsaturated. Don't think about that. Just think about making those changes. So when you're pan-searing, instead of putting, I don't know, your vegetable oil, try your olive oil. Olive oil is a great source of unsaturated fat. It has great benefits. So limiting your saturated fats, like I said earlier, those are the ones from the animal fats that can clog your arteries, and doing more of those unsaturated fats, you can lower your cholesterol. So what are some foods that you can try? Avocados, great source of fat, because you need fat. You need those nutrients, those macronutrients for your bodies, for your organs, but you want to try different ones. You have your avocados, and like I mentioned, your olive oil. But don't forget a good snack. If we're going to replace some of those chips, try some almonds. Almonds, great source of unsaturated fat, because those fats help with heart health, help with brain function. And one of my favorite meals that I'm going to share with you all tonight has omega-3s in it. So omega-3s are your fatty acids. Those are your essential fats that your body does not make. Your body doesn't make it. So that means you have to eat the good food, because guess what? We're loving our body. It's Heart Health Month, and we're going to make good choices. So I made my dinner to share with you guys. So a piece of salmon, brown rice, and broccoli. So the salmon is a great omega-3, and it's actually recommended by the American Heart Association to have 2 servings of fish a week. So that helps lower your blood pressure and your cholesterol. And then the salmon I showed you is a great source of insoluble fiber, which helps with constipation. And if we go back to breakfast time, instead of getting that breakfast bowl with all that salt, get some oatmeal. Oatmeal is a great source of soluble fiber. So soluble fiber goes in your body and it lowers that bad cholesterol. So more good fiber, it all works together. Our body is like this mechanism that works together. So when you get a good food like oats and oatmeal for breakfast, that's gonna lower that bad cholesterol. So remember, as you've seen on your screen, there's a recipe that you will all receive of the salmon. So try different things. Try the salmon. Try some heart healthy nuts, where it's walnuts, avocados, fresh fruits and vegetables. They're a great snack, like strawberries, blueberries, like I had on my plate, some broccoli. So making those changes. And then just to review, so when you remember, cut back on the salt, pay attention to those processed foods, those heart healthy foods, and actually don't forget about those fats. Replacing those foods that are high in animal fats, doing more plant-based. And then also focus on that soda. Remember, you only need a teaspoon a day. So just to take away for tonight, remember, not too much salt, try new fats, and even add some exercise. And if you smoke, decrease the smoking because it'll help you live a healthier life and cut back on your chances of developing heart disease. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Latrice. If there are any questions from our virtual guests, please put them in the chat room, and we will have a question and answer period where we can get answers from our experts tonight. And one of our team members, you'll have to let me know if there are questions. All right, no questions. Our next special guest for tonight is Adina Crawford. She is a certified yoga teacher. She is a mentor, a motivator, an advocate, and community influencer. She is an ambassador for Black Girls Run, Honey Stinger, Black Girls Do Bike, and a profit for Athleta. Her calling to teach yoga has been about diversity and community, with the understanding that each person is unique, that everyone is at a different level and at a different growth. Her specialty in yoga is vinyasa. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And Adina, you can correct me in a second. Vinyasa, scope, and restorative. So ladies, gentlemen, friends, we give you Adina Crawford.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so pleased to be here, and for what a great cause, heart health, right? So since this is Heart Health Month, you talked about food and different things. I'm going to bring you into a space now for mind, body, and breath. So what I invite you to do is make yourself comfortable, either sitting up or lying down. Begin to come into stillness. Softly close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, bringing awareness fully to this present moment. Begin to let go of any busy thoughts that are preventing you from tapping into your inner essence. So my breathing, beautiful friends, let's take a deep breath in, filling up the belly, and exhale it all out. Begin to do a full body scan, starting at the top of your scalp, moving all the way down to the tips of your toes. And as you do your full body scan and you encounter any tension, simply use the power of your mind to melt it away. Letting go of the day. Softening your face. Unhinging your jaw. And just connecting your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Taking small sips of air, breathing in and breathing out. Spread your collarbone wide. And opening up space that holds that life-sustaining muscle, your heart. You feel comfortable, bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Begin to feel the connection of your belly rising and falling. Take a few moments here to feel the connection and the energy that the life-sustaining muscle is providing. And just remember, you are not your thoughts. Continue to check in with your breath and settle in. Softening your entire body, opening up and creating space for good energy. And slowly begin to bring your awareness to the space around your heart. As you breathe in and breathe out. And know that this life-sustaining muscle provides so much for us. It is our space for universal compassion. It allows us to be our true self. All the nuggets around our hearts for love, kindness, emotion, gratitude. Recognize those things that our heart has to give. A space for infinite love that we give to ourselves and to others. Take a moment to allow the flow of love and kindness to flow through your body. Relaxing your shoulders down and back and feeling the ease of comfort in this present moment. Removing any energetic blockages that may be preventing you from giving love. Allow love to radiate from your heart space, using all the love, compassion, openness that you have cultivated. And gently remove your hand from your heart, your other hand from your belly. Just gently just drop your chin to your chest. Opening up a nice space in the back of your neck. Slowly bring your head up nice and slow. Just drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Feeling a nice, gentle neck release. Coming back up to center. Then going to the left side. Gently come back up to center. And as we prepare for the end of the meditation, take these next few minutes to recognize your gift, the gift of life. You're able to feel and taste each day. The gift of hearing, for you listening. And the gift of this meditation, which is a beautiful gift to share. And lastly, the gift of your heart, which is a true gift in itself. A place where love and spirit are joined. That gift resonates with you, all three of those gifts. I invite you to use them. The moments of silence. And recognizing your gift. Do one final check-in with your breathing. Slowing it down. Connecting. awareness back into your space. Wiggle your hands, your toes. Slowly open your eyes. Bring your hands to heart center, pressing your thumbs against your heart. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, open your arms up nice and wide, creating energy, shining your heart forward. Slowly bring your hands back to heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Thank you, Adina. Thank you so very much for that. And now I need to wake up. I'm so relaxed. So thank you for that. I feel really mellow now. So if there are any questions, team members, let me know if there are any questions from our guests. If not, I will keep it moving. Next, we have the pleasure of introducing to you Michelle Nost-Heidi. Michelle, she nodded. Yes, amen. Michelle Nost-Heidi is the executive director of the American Heart Association in the Richmond region. She began her career at American Heart Association 15 years ago as the director of communications and has held several roles since then. She received a BS in psychology and a BA in communications from Virginia Tech and a master's in social work planning, policy, and administration from Virginia Commonwealth University. Michelle lives in Midlothian with her husband, Mike, and their 3 sons, and she enjoys biking, reading, and volunteering at church, and of course, in her community. I give you Michelle Nost-Heidi.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you all for allowing me to be a part of this evening. I have really enjoyed it. Latrice, thank you so much for educating us tonight. I loved your tips and I agree. I'm so relaxed now. I'm going to sleep well tonight, Adina. Thank you so much for that. This is a wonderful program and I'm proud to be a part of it. And I have a great speaker to introduce to you. But before that, I just wanted to share a couple of things with you all. We've heard tonight about heart disease and its impact on women. 1 in 3 women will die from heart disease, which is a staggering statistic. And Black women are disproportionately affected by heart disease and stroke. So we know that even 1 woman is too many to lose from heart disease and stroke. So programs like this are so important so we can encourage each other and educate each other and just come together against something like heart disease, which, the great news is 80% of heart disease is preventable from lifestyle changes, just like Latrice was talking about and Adina, and really paying attention to our hearts. So there's great news there. I wanted to just share that this Friday is Wear Red Day. Everyone looks so lovely in their red. So if you have an extra red to wear this Friday, that would be wonderful. If you would take a selfie of yourself or a picture of your group, we would love to have you post that. And you can tag American Heart VA, and you can follow along all day with all the great pictures and educational things we'll share and encouraging things we'll share that day. And the hashtag is GoRedRVA. So you can also use that and we will find your picture and share it out. So thank you for that. So a little bit about CPR. Women are less likely to receive bystander CPR than men by quite a bit. So coming together to learn CPR, hands-only CPR tonight is so important because the more of us that are aware of how to do it, the more lives we can save. So I'm very glad that we're coming together as a community to learn this evening. And Brittany Buckler is who's going to teach it to us. Brittany is with the Richmond Ambulance Authority. She has been there for 5 years. She's been in EMS for 10 years. And she lives with a husband, a dog, and 2 cats, and is the expert that's going to show us how to do these compressions this evening. So thank you so much, Brittany, for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys for having me. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about hands-only CPR. Like Michelle was saying, women are much less likely to receive bystander CPR, and there's a lot of different things that contribute to it. Anybody that we can teach CPR to, and anybody that is willing to perform CPR before EMS arrives, greatly increases somebody's chance of survival. There's a couple reasons for that. When we talk about CPR, you're going to hear me talk about cerebral perfusion pressure. What that is the amount of pressure we need to push all that blood back up to our brains to make sure we're keeping everything nice and perfused, we're getting oxygen and nutrients on all the good things that our body needs. The heart is greedy, it feeds itself first. So in addition to that cerebral perfusion pressure we're getting by performing CPR, we're also getting all that good blood and oxygen down into our heart tissue to keep it ready to restart. So if you see somebody go down with CPR, first thing we always do is check on them. Hey, are you okay? If they don't respond, we're going to check a pulse really quick. The easiest way to check a pulse is you kind of find the center right here, and you're just going to slide straight down. Over to the side, you should feel a very light beat under your fingertips. If at any time you doubt whether or not you can feel that, go ahead and start CPR. When in doubt, always start CPR. We have decided now that we need to perform CPR on this poor nice man here. He doesn't have a pulse. If he does, I'm concerned. So we're going to come up here. I'm sorry, I'm cutting myself off. I just want to make sure everybody's got a good view down here. And I'm going to sit him up for you a little bit here, just so we can take a good look at him. Our hand placement is really important when it comes to CPR. If we're too high, if we're way up here, we're not going to be getting right on that heart. If we come down here too low, now we're pushing on the belly, and that's not doing us a whole lot of good either. And we also have to worry about the lower part of our sternum right here. There's a little point down here that possibly if we were to break it accidentally doing CPR, we could cause a problem. So that's why we want to stay right nice in the middle. The easiest way to find that on people is look for their nipple line. About where you can find that is about where we want to place our hands. When it comes to hand placement, set him back there. Thank you so much for your help. You're going to take both hands. Pull my sleeves up here because we're going to do some work. You're going to take the heel of your first hand. You're going to place it right in the middle of that nipple line, right at the center of that sternum, that breastbone right there we talked about. Take hand number two. We're going to place it on top and kind of interlace your fingers. At this point, you want them on a firm surface. So if they're on a bed or a couch, we want to move them to the floor as safely as you can. Get our placement right. We want to lean over them just slightly. We want to keep our arms nice and straight because we want to use our body mechanics and our body weight to make sure that we're getting a good depth of compression. AHA recommends at least 2 inches of compression. Obviously, if somebody's a little bit larger, you may have to push a little bit deeper. We want our rate to be between 100 and 120 beats a minute. So we're going to find that nice landmark. We're going to interlace our fingers, and we're just going to go straight up and down. And we're going to do that continuously. Do not stop, keep on going. So you're wondering, how can I keep my rate between that 100 to 120 beats per minute? There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. The easiest way is to pick a song that you like that the rate matches. So a couple popular ones, Staying Alive is always a fan favorite. Hips Don't Lie by Shakira. What else do I have here? I made myself a list so I didn't forget because I'm horrible with lists. Walk the Line by Johnny Cash. If Country Is More Your Style. Crazy in Love by Beyonce. AHA does offer, part of their website is a page called Be the Beat, which gives you a whole huge list of songs. You can find whatever you like that suits your needs. Make that your CPR song. Again, I've been in EMS for 10 years. I still hum along to myself, row, row, row your boat, just to make sure that I'm keeping that nice, even rate of compression. I'm getting that good depth. Anytime that we have to stop CPR, our cerebral perfusion pressure drops greatly. That's why it's so important that we continue those compressions. If you start getting tired and you have somebody there that's able to switch with you, don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm tired. When EMS gets on scene, we're going to ask lots of questions. We're going to seem really abrupt. We don't mean to. We're just trying to gather as much information to make sure we're doing the best for this person. We'll ask things like their name, do you know them, any kind of medical history that you can provide to us. And anything that you can give us is incredibly helpful, and we're greatly appreciative of it, very appreciative of it. How long have you been doing CPR? Those kinds of things will, again, help us in the care of this person. And as always, don't forget to call 911. If you start CPR, you can always look at someone and say, hey, call 911. I always tell people, look at somebody directly in the eyes and say, you call 911. Because unfortunately, when we get in these kinds of situations, we tend to get people kind of gather around. And if you just kind of throw out that blanket statement of somebody call 911, well, somebody else will do it. And you may not actually get it as quickly as you may need it. Don't be afraid to start CPR. CPR saves lives and makes a huge difference. If we can keep that heart nice and perfused, if we can keep that brain nice and perfused, we have a much better chance of good outcomes of a person making it to the hospital, getting what we call ROSC, return of spontaneous circulation, getting their heart to restart, and getting them to leave the hospital as good as they were before their event. And that's always our goal, is those good positive outcomes. Any questions?
Team, let me know if there are any questions from our Facebook friends and family. But Brittany, thank you so very much for sharing that life-saving technique with us. And I will definitely find a song to keep the rhythm going. So I appreciate that little tidbit. See any questions? All right, there are no questions. So we'd like to thank each of our guests, our experts that were here with us tonight, Latrice Love, Adina Crawford for relaxing us and putting us to sleep, Michelle Nostheide, and Brittany Buckler for that mini CPR demonstration. We'd like to thank all of our special guests that joined us on Facebook Live. Continue to follow us, Omega Rho Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we look forward to seeing you again at one of our future events. For those who are registered guests tonight, look for a survey that's coming via the email. So thank you all for joining us. Have a great night.